Hanji, this is Dr. Umesh Wadhavani, and you are about to watch my interactive workshop on yoga and nutrition. इस workshop में हमारे guest speaker थे Oshin Satija. She is a yoga expert and उन्होंने बहुत सारा काम किया है योगा के फील्ड में. She was one of the demonstrators of the first International Yoga Day. उनके बारे में बहुत सारी चीज़ें तुम जान जाओगे. Apart from that, you will know everything about yoga. तो ये सेशन में हमने योगा सिखाया नहीं है, हमने योगा के बारे में बातें की है. I know it's really weird, right? Yoga is something that you do, not talk about. But you would exactly know what I mean by that. Because a lot of us are really confused about yoga. हमें ऐसा लगता है कि वो flexibility के लिए, stretching के लिए ये सिर्फ लड़कियाँ करती हैं. And you know so many myths around it. सारे myths ये वर्कशॉप में क्लियर किए हैं ओशन. चेक दिस वीडियो आउट. एंड ऐसे वर्कशॉप्स मैं हर हफ्ते करता हूँ, तो अगर आपको मेरे लाइव वर्कशॉप्स का पार्ट बनना है, व्हाट्सएप मी. I have a group there. I'll add you in that group and you'll get regular updates. Enjoy this video. Like and comment if you have any questions and share it with your friends and family. अगर मेरा चैनल सब्सक्राइब ना किया तो वो भी कर लेना. And finally, अपनी हेल्थ का ध्यान रखो. हम मिलते हैं. There she is.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
it just feels you guys have a very, very warm connection with each other. So I also wanted to bump in like that, like a hi. Yes, and I am all set, to answer all the questions that you might have. And as Umesh had put it up in the beginning that, probably you'll get to know more and then uske baad yoga shuru karenge. But I am more on the page of whether you would like to, or you, even if you wouldn't like to, feel free to ask and feel free to know more about, so that, when you begin, you don't regret the first class and you know probably what to expect in whichever class you're entering, right? Because, because coming from fitness background, I feel that yoga for many people is not, their cup of tea, and I am completely okay with that. Having said that, I do believe that whatever regime you are following, whatever creative, non-creative work line career you are following, yoga is one thing that absolutely helps you improve on that, progress on that. And yes, of course, mentally, it's wonderful. It will add a lot to your life.
I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure. तो उससे पहले इतना सारा सवाल होता है ना लोगों को around that, because as we were just talking about this, right, थोड़ी देर पहले on the call, people thought we were actually going to do yoga here, and that's why they didn't sign. So when I posted that story, a lot of other people were like, हाँ अब मैं attend करूँगा because I'm not flexible enough. है ना? So we will straight jump into it. But before we jump into it, I think you should tell us about you. Like, what's up? Who is Oshin? कहाँ से हो आप? What do you do? With yoga.
Okay. So yes. So to begin with, my name is Oshin Satija, as you can see probably in the name list. And I have been practicing yoga since I was in class 5. That's been over 16 years now. And I've been teaching yoga for over 5 years, post my schooling, post my graduation. I actually started teaching yoga along with my graduation. And I've been taking personal classes, corporate sessions, and I have been working on and off with studios, taking group classes as well. So yes, as of now, I have dealt with a number of people coming from a different background, coming from different purposes, when it comes to taking yoga classes. Mm-hmm. And I have been blessed enough to be a part of the first International Day of Yoga, happened in 2015.
Nice.
That was at Rajpath. So there were 4 main demonstrators conducting the whole session for the full audience, and I was one of them.
Yeah,
so that was one milestone. That was one milestone, surely. And going ahead from that, or before that, yes, since I was doing it in school as well, so I have been a national level player of yoga, and I'm very neutral in the name of competition now, because because of competitions, a lot of times, we focus a lot more on getting the asana done instead of focusing on a lot more that yoga can offer us. But again, having said that, I feel it's a very good way to inculcate the habit and the practice of yoga at a very early age. Had that not been there, had that motivation not been there, I might have been at a different place. So yes, I have, but I hold a neutral stand at that. And as much as I support competitions, at the same time, I feel it should not miss out on the actual meaning and the point of conducting those competitions. Followed by that, I was the part of an opening ceremony and welcome ceremony of Commonwealth Games in 2010, where a yoga performance was held out in the beginning. And now, currently, yes, as I said, I'm taking personal classes, corporate sessions. I have a company by the name of Linking Roots, which is a technical and event based company. And in the last milestone, I think, or the last feather that I added onto the hat was organizing and managing the International Day of Yoga 2020 with my partner. I'm the co founder of Linking Roots. And I'm happy to say my co founder also is present here, Shubham, that is.
Wow.
And so, yes, without him, this wouldn't have been possible. And yes, so he was there, and we both managed to organize the International Day of Yoga 2020 online, where we built up the website, we connected with people registered their own selves, they contributed to the International Day of Yoga, and we observed a participation of over 8 lakh people across 17 countries. So yes, I think that was the last milestone that we had. And since then, I'm continuing, and I'm surely going to mention this as well, this workshop as well, a part of it, because I love interacting with people on a general basis. And yes, I am really looking forward to this.
Wow. Congratulations on. So I was gonna congratulate on the first thing, but usko to aapne beat hi kar diya last one. Well done, yeah. We have a celebrity in the house, and we are going to pick your brain for sure. बहुत ज़्यादा. But within your explanation, there was this one point about you said there's a competition, but you don't want to be a part of the competition where you lose the meaning of yoga. You know, I think that is my first question. What do we mean by?
Yes, absolutely.
What is the meaning of yoga?
So the meaning of yoga lies way ahead than flexibility. Like you began the conversation by the fact that many of them signed out of the session if they felt that, it's going to be a physical class. So I really want to put a lot of light on that it's not merely about asanas, it's not merely about yoga flexibility. There are 8 parts of it, as you might have heard something called Ashtanga Yoga, right? So there are 8 parts to it, starting from Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. So starting from the very beginning, which is Yam, Niyam, those are the basic rules that we follow in terms of social coordination and personal coordination, right? So when you are there, then you should need to be honest, you need to be non-violent, you need to be pure in your words, in your mind. And with yoga, if you are that kind of a person on a base, or if you change yourself to be a person on that level, then you are still into yoga. You don't have to do an asana for 1 minute, 2 minutes. If you are good from your heart, then that is also being into yoga. Like they say that if you're practicing on the mat every day for an hour, but you are yet very easily, you lose your temper very easily, then probably something is not happening right? So yoga is there on the mat and off the mat as well. Then going ahead from that, it's not merely asana, going on to pranayam, that has an extremely strong impact on your subtle level of your body, on the breathing, on the air that you breathe, and how it can impact you inside out. Like I'd like to give a very small example here, that when you're calm, when you're relaxed, when you're happy, then your breathing is flowing in one rhythm. Probably it's deep breathing or natural level breathing. But when you're angry, when you're worried, when you're anxious, when you are sad, when you're crying, then also your breathing is happening, but it's happening on a different rhythm. So just like your mental state of mind impacts your breath, similarly, with the help of yoga, with practice, with regulation, you can impact the state of your mind, vice versa, by changing the pattern of your breath. And for that, of course, the very first step is to become aware of your breath, to know how your breath actually works, how it works in what situation, so that you can start to manipulate it on the other way around. Then there is mudras. Mudras is again your small gestures that we have. Probably Gyan Mudra you might have heard of, right? So there's Gyan Mudra. This is a different mudra. This is a different mudra. This is a different mudra. And similarly, you can play along, with your fingers. And each finger represents one element, right? So our body is made up of basic 5 elements: fire, earth, water, space, and earth. That have I covered? Fire, earth, water, space, and air, right? So the whole earth is made up of these 5 elements, and so is our body. So if any element is in imbalanced state, then it starts to impact our body. So like if anybody is having cough, then probably their earth and water element is increased together, right? So you need to reduce that. So if you know what problem you're having and you can correlate it with the fact of which element is starting to get into imbalance, you can start to cure it merely by the use of these mudras, right? So I would give a very small example. Maybe if anybody has varicose veins or swelling or bloating, then it's because of the water element being in excess. So the little finger, we always have used this pinky finger to go to washroom, right? So this is what represents the water element. And if you press this down, then that water element is reduced, and it will really help in getting away from that, in reducing your excessive water content, right, that is there in the body. And vice versa, to give you an example, if anybody goes to gym or if has HIIT workout, then a lot of times it happens that we might get a cramp in our nerves, right? Nas pe nas chad jati hai, something that we might have heard of, right? So that is because there is not sufficient water that is passing through the blood. So this mudra, that is, earlier we did this, that is pressing the water element downwards. Now it is balancing the water element, right? So if you do this mudra for 3 to 5 minutes, it's going to give you an immediate response, and you will feel that the clamp has relaxed out, right? And anybody having any skin related issues, that is also somewhere connected to the fact that there's not sufficient water going inside your body, or water is going but it's not being absorbed by your body the right way. So that also, if you balance the water element in your body, that will give you a really positive effect. So that is the beginning of it. And of course it goes towards meditation. We all have heard about mindfulness, relaxation, being stress free, but I would really like to focus on the fact that being focused, being mindful, being relaxed, being stress free is different from being meditative, right? It's like when they say that if you're free from any illness, doesn't mean you are healthy, right? Similarly, if you're free from stress, if you're simply relaxed, doesn't mean you are in meditation. So there's a lot to explore, in the name of yoga. One small simple question of what do you mean by yoga can actually make me go on speaking, but I'll conclude it here. And there's a lot to be explored in yoga other than merely asana.
I was enjoying it. मेरे को लगा अभी और 4 point और बाकी हैं. I was waiting for that. So you explained 4.
नहीं, मैं conclude करेगा यहाँ पे. और I would like to have more questions from people. So.
But okay. So guys, first of all, beautiful explanation. This session is always like for you all. So shoot in all the questions that you have in the chat, or you just unmute and ask. But before you all do, मेरे पास एक और छोटा सा सवाल है. The mudras that you said, what is the duration like? Like how do we? My gym freak is just popping. कि कितने sets और कितने reps करने हैं इसके और कितने duration के लिए?
So absolutely. Yes, makes sense. So for mudras, the one thing that you need to keep in mind is that it should be done 30 minutes after intake of food, right? Okay. Not anytime before that. Other than that, you can do it anytime, any day, anywhere, right? Of course, if you do it at one place with deep breathing, it's going to give you a very positive impact. But other than that, I would not want you to limit yourself कि नहीं एक जगह पे बैठ के ही करना. That's another very big benefit of mudra. Even if you're traveling, you're watching anything on the TV, you're watching Netflix series, you're watching a movie, you can do the mudra, right? And these basic mudras, that is touching the fingertips of any finger. This can be done for as long as you like. But to give you a time limit so that you can start to feel an impact of it is 45 minutes, right? You do this 45 minutes and it will start to give you a deeper level of impact. 45 minutes every day, either in continuation, or you can do it 15 minutes into three times a day, right? So that is how you can take it up. You can do this mudra while you are walking, while, anytime. One very big thing that you might have to compromise on is your phone time, because you'll have to leave that aside. But if you're handling with your phones, you can do the mudra. But other than that, it's a very good alternative, to understanding your body better. So 45 minutes, either in continuation, 15 minutes into three times, and 30 minutes after your food intake. And that is these basic mudras. There are other mudras also, which are like a quick fix mudras, right? So those can be done for 7 minutes thrice a day, 3 minutes thrice a day, and it can vary from mudra to mudra. But on a basic level, if you touch the fingertips, there's no side effect if you do it for way beyond than 45 minutes as well. So that would, I think, answer your question.
And both the hands, I believe.
Both the hands. So your right hand mudra impacts the left side of your body, and the left hand mudra impacts the right side of your body. Okay. So if anybody has paralysis issues, or anybody has a shoulder pain on the left, or something that that your body is more weaker or vulnerable on one side, then make sure that you do it. If you don't have the time to do it from both the sides, both the hands, or if you're using something with one hand, then ensure that you pick the right hand so that the opposite part of the body is impacted, right? But again, like I said, of course, doing it with both hands, deep breathing, one place, settled and aware, gives you much better benefits and results, much quicker results. But something is better than nothing absolutely follows here.
That's fair. Okay. All right. Questions.
Yes. I see Samarth.
Hi, Oshin.
Am I saying your name?
Thanks for taking out time today. Yeah, perfect. You're one of the few people who took my name, correctly.
Well, I've been there myself.
Thanks for that. So, thank you so much. So kind of you. So, across the past years, I've seen different offerings of yoga. From that, in the park, that free wala all India yoga sansthan wala thing se leke power yoga and all. So even if I want to go, I'm always confused ki mere ko which one would suit me, and where to start with. Obviously you can start with anywhere. Something is better than nothing wala funda can apply always. But what is the difference in all these streams, and how many streams are there for that matter?
Okay. So to answer your question, I will take that question to be where to start and what's the difference, right? Yeah. So where to start, I would say that you can begin with something called as Common Yoga Protocol. It is something that you might hear more often with the coming time, because International Day of Yoga is again coming up in another 88, 89 days. It's 21st of June. And it's a very well thought protocol, a series of standing, sitting, laying down on your back, on your stomach, along with pranayam and relaxation. It's a whole series of almost 55 minutes to 1 hour. And that has been very well thought in terms of that, when the International Day of Yoga was going to be introduced. So, people had thought that, what are the basic asanas that need to be done by people, and that can be done by people of any age, gender, caste, without any discrimination all across the globe. And then they came up with Common Yoga Protocol, right? So to begin with, and if you're practicing by yourself, I would strongly recommend going for Common Yoga Protocol. Where are you placed out of, if I may ask?
I'm in Delhi.
You're in Delhi. So if you must have heard of Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga, it's placed in CP, the heart of Delhi. And I'm not sure currently if they're holding out physical sessions or not, but otherwise on every Saturday and Sunday, they used to hold out free sessions, wherein everybody used to practice common yoga protocol a month before the D-Day was there, and it was free of cost, and it was very well guided by the experts there. So you can always check out Moraji Desai National Institute of Yoga for any references. And for common yoga protocol, you can find videos, you can find PDFs in over 30 languages, on the Ministry of Ayush website or on even Moraji Desai National Institute of Yoga. You'll see a glimpse of me also if you go to the original video. But other than that, I mean, that's a good way to begin with. Secondly, if you go with Park Yoga or any other, class that you might go with, everybody has their own style and way of beginning a class. So as a personal check, keep two things in mind. One, that yoga is not just another, in a sport category. I don't like to put it in a sport category because of the fact that in a sports, the more you do, the more it gets into you. The more you run, the more stamina you get, something like that, right? But in yoga, there's a very important factor that plays a magical role, and that is called relaxation, shavasana, right? So a lot of times when we keep pushing ourselves, you are tiring out your body. You have to take a pause, you have to rejuvenate, you have to take shavasana. And then when you go back into it, you will feel that you are able to do much more, which is completely opposite to something that you might have heard in the name of sports, right? So, and other than that, also sports is one line and yoga is in every aspect of your life. So there are multiple other things, but yes, this one thing really matters, that you relax your body. You do not push your body to go towards the maximum, to the ideal state, to the instructor who is teaching you. You need to be aware of the capacity of your body and need to respect that capacity. And having said that, I don't mean that you don't have to push yourself. Push yourself, keeping the capacity of your body in mind, respecting those boundaries, listening to your body, and push yourself 2 steps ahead of where you already are, right? Move 1 step ahead, adapt to that step, adapt to that situation, let your body muscles stretch and maintain and relax there, maintain there, then move 1 step ahead. So take 1 step at a time. Right. So that should really help you if you're going in any yoga class. Don't push yourself to the next level. Just not next level, I mean like the 10th level probably. But yes, the next first step that is required as per your own body. Right. So that is where you can begin with. And that is something that you can take and keep in mind. Right.
Right. Thank you. And so what is power yoga? How is power yoga different from the common yoga protocol?
Okay. Yes. The different types of yoga, so if I might say. So common yoga protocol is again simple basic asanas that need to be done that will help you balance your body, balance the hormones of your body, bring, help in backache or the basic issues that we have, help in building up your immunity, right? So all those factors are considered when you come to common yoga protocol. Now, other than that, if there's any jargon that you might have heard of, being aqua yoga, being power yoga, being desk yoga, this yoga, that yoga, beverage yoga, beer yoga. So that's all curiosity factor. Yoga is one and the same thing, right? When you do yoga on a faster pace that makes you sweat, then you can categorize it as power yoga or hot yoga. When it makes you work out to the very extent, then it's power yoga. When you're doing it very slow with the breath, right, going into the particular flows as per suggestions of the gurus, then that is vinyas yoga. Then there is yin and yang yoga, that is again a slow process of working out. So they're all categorized. I mean, right? I wouldn't call that, they are different from each other. At the end, they are one. But yes, to some extent, they are marketing tactics, right? And again, even though if I call them marketing tactics, that doesn't mean that I don't take those sessions. I do, because at the end of the day, I feel that having taken the corporate sessions that I have inclined with and I have worked with, I feel that if you say that we are conducting a yoga session, a lot of mindset go inclined towards the fact that it's going to be a boring class. It's going to be a okay class. I don't want to stretch. I don't want anybody to see me and judge me whether I can, go into a split or not. So all these jargon, all these categories or name tags, labels have been put so that you let go of the basic mindset of what yoga is, and you at least make it to the session, have some fun, with a little tweak of yoga, and get a glimpse of it. I mean, I feel that if in the name of beverage yoga, in the name of desk yoga, if I can give you a glimpse of what actual yoga can do to you, to your mind, to your body, then probably that can just merely become a medium for you to connect towards the real yoga, right? Or the basic yoga or the original yoga, however you may like to call it. Right. So yeah, it's fine. It's a fun thing. It's a fun activity. You can take it there's acro yoga and there's air yoga where you're flying and you're doing poses. There's Malkham, which is of course taken as a very root of yoga as well, right? It requires a lot of strength and flexibility, right? So yes, it can surely help you differentiate a little bit of how, and because yoga is so vast, as I shared earlier, categorizing your classes like this can help you give the person a little interest, curiosity factor, and understanding of what is going to happen in the class. So that's all that you need to take away with the title of the class. But other than that, I hope that attending any class, it gives you the glimpse of the actual relaxation that yoga can give you in your daily life.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm holding the queue. I'll just ask a very little small question. So people with metabolic disorders, diabetes, hypertension, so no specific stream to start with, just start with this common yoga protocol and
Yes,
then go ahead.
absolutely.
Okay. Sure.
Absolutely. If you have any basic issues that you're suffering through, any hormonal disorders, any basic lifestyle issues, then yes, absolutely begin for yoga and go for a genuine class, go for a genuine teacher, and take your time to explore. Don't hurry into a class, don't go by the money, go by how much you are able to tune in with your teacher, because that would really matter in the coming time. Right? How much that person is able to understand you and how much the person is able to focus on you, right? That really matters in the long term.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Back to you, Doc. Thank you.
Thank you, Sma. Thank you so much. Okay, we have a question from, I think Heta. Yes. Can you elaborate Vipassana? Is it a part of yoga? Heta is asking us.
Is it in the chat? Can I read the question?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just check out. Can you elaborate? Is it a part of yoga? Regards. Okay. Hi, Heta. Yes, Vipassana, you can say, is a part of yoga. Again, are you talking about the Vipassana 10 days program that are often conducted at different places? Is that the same Vipassana? Because Vipassana, other than that, is a particular breathing technique also, right? So are you talking about those particular sessions that are conducted at often a number of places, or is it the basic Vipassana breathing technique that you're referring to?
Wait. Heta, are you there? Do you want to unmute and talk?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go for it.
Yeah.
So, can you elaborate more? What is Vipassana? Is it meditation?
So it is meditation, yes. And Vipassana has its own deep-rooted technique, right? Into going deeper in your own self. It's a journey within, absolutely. It's a very closed technique and concept, so I do not stand here liable to convey that openly. But yes, I would surely say this, that it's a way of discovering yourself. It has and it can impact a lot of people, in a very positive manner in terms of reflecting on their lives, right? So, like, if you might have heard of Osho, then even he has a lot of meditation techniques, and Vipassana is one of them as well. Now, the Vipassana group where these are conducted, they are dedicated towards this one particular technique only, right? And there are a different number of days of program, and I have heard both ways of reviews towards it. A lot of people struggle through the first few days because they have a very strict routine that they follow. They don't take money at all, right? But the only thing that they ask you to do is, to follow that routine, right? And it becomes a struggle for people to follow that routine because it forces them to sit with themselves, to sit and reflect back on their life, which is a very hard thing to do because our own self is one thing that we can never run away with. You can lie to another person, you can manipulate another person, but when you know it inside of what your intention is with every action that you have taken, it's a hard thing to confront your own self, which a lot of times is not capable. People are not capable, so they come back, from the camps midway. But if you make it through, yes, of course, it's a life changing thing, because if once you accept your own self with your own self, it can create a beautiful impact on you, surely. Right? There are no phones, no gadgets, no technology intervention at all. It's a 10 days or more than that cut off from the world, only you inside out. Right? So, yes, if you are anyway asking me whether you should try it, absolutely. If you're inclined towards meditation, absolutely, I can connect with you with free or paid groups that conduct with various techniques of meditation as well, other than Vipassana. Right? And if you want to experiment with that, absolutely feel free.
Thank you.
I didn't know.
All
I
right.
didn't know about that. Yeah, we have Amol. He wants to ask a question. Here he is.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, Amol.
Hi. Ma'am, actually, I have a question from the previous thing which you talked about, and it is about that varicose vein. My own mom is suffering from that problem from around 26 years. And we have went through a lot of therapies, a lot of treatment, but nothing is happening. It just gets worse with, like, it's just getting worse with the age, like that. Now she is 50. So, ma'am, is there any way through, like, which you taught, like the finger, the mudras and everything? I'll tell her that. And something more on that, ma'am, please, if you can guide me.
Absolutely. I can surely help you on that. If I may ask, where are you placed out of?
Ma'am, I'm currently living in Nagpur, Maharashtra.
Maharashtra. Okay. So there are 2-3 things that you can do. One that we have one is, of course, varicose veins, 45 minutes of this mudra, right? Pressing the water element downwards, right? And second is there is something called as Ardhal Asana, right? It's a very simple pose. You can do it with support of the wall, right? It's basically lying down on the ground and lifting your legs up on the wall, right? So the point is that the blood should flow downward. Now, understand what varicose veins basically is, that you have blood clots. The blood is not able to go back towards the heart, and it's started to clot, right? It's started to come together, and it's creating an obstruction there, right? So the thing is that and because of the gravity, the blood can pass through the body, through the heart, down towards your legs very easily. But the blood passes back to the heart as well. So that becomes a struggle, there the blood or the body has to act against the gravity to come up, and which grow gradually over time with lesser metabolism, it becomes a difficulty. And that is why on the surface veins, which are tinier, which are thinner, uske andar blockage aa jati hai. Or if you have a lot of work where you are standing a lot, where there's putting a lot of pressure on your legs consistently, then also this situation can occur. So all we have to try now, understanding the fact that basically backward flow of blood nahi ho pa raha hai. Now, understanding that all the inverted pose, which force the body or help the body, that helps in the backward flow of the blood towards the heart from the legs, will help in the state of varicose veins. Now, when I say that you need to do half your legs up and you while laying down Ardhal Asana, you can probably note the name, you'll get to know about it, right? I don't mean that you just barely need to do it for 1 minute, 2 minutes. If your mother is at 50 years of age, then it's not going to be a quick overnight therapy that will happen. She probably needs to, it's a very relaxing pose. So she can lay down in it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, as long as she likes, and as much as she gets the time to do so. Right? That is one, Ardhalasana, varicose veins. And at the same time, all the food that doesn't suit her body, that increases bloating in her body, avoid that. Right? Take care of your food diet at the same time. There's one more thing I am missing out here. Yes. So whenever go for oil massage, right? And there's a very basic tendency कि जब हम लोग oil massage करते हैं, तो we are, massaging the leg downwards. So never do that. always massage the leg upwards. Because downward movement of blood is very simple for the body. Upward movement is where the body needs your support. So if she has any kind of massage, oil massage frequently or otherwise, then just check and ensure that the person who is oiling, then the person is, especially with the legs, the movement is upwards towards the heart and not vice versa. Right? Those are the few pointers you can take care of.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Loved it. Loved it. Thank you. Thank you, Amol. Thank you, Oshin. Okay. थोड़ा सा पॉज लेते हैं. Guys, इसे एकदम अटैक नहीं करने का. इतने सारे सवाल. We have so many more questions. But as we spoke in the beginning of the session, this is going to be about nutrition as well. I'm feeling left
Yes.
out.
So I was also going to come. I was also going to come to that. That if anybody has any nutrition questions, do shoot.
Yes, please. But as I was telling you ना थोड़ी देर पहले कि this is very इनको मैं हर हफ्ते मिलता हूँ and इन्होंने already they all are their own nutritionists at the moment, I feel. Unless there is someone else, someone new. We have a couple of questions. Dipanshu, he wanted to go next, but then he just left. Dia has a question.
Yeah.
Can you read that in the chat? Is there any specific or genuine yoga for Parkinson's?
Random. Sorry, is there a specific? So no, there's no specific yoga or quick way of it. But yes, yoga. I mean, then you will have to go for therapeutic yoga, right? Go for a particular teacher. It's going to be again a journey of it because it's a deep-rooted disease, right? And that is why basic, like any asana, I would also want to put light on that any asana doesn't merely start to impact your body if you hold it for like 10 seconds or 15 seconds, right? You need to really hold it for probably 1 minute, gradually going on to 2 minutes, up till 3 minutes, right? After 2 minutes, 40 seconds, then on a regular basis, then the asana starts to impact you. At the same time, you need to be very regular in your practice. I'm imagining like probably practicing for an hour, on alternate days and not being regular in your workout, that is not going to give you a very outright result, right? So at the same time, it also depends of at what age you are, how much your body is in coherence with your mental state, with your lifestyle, right? How your diet is impacting. So all those factors, like I said, yoga is again lifestyle. So all those factors, matter and impact on how much you are able to progress with your journey into resolving any particular issue.
Okay, Dia, I hope you got that answer. Okay, Soumya is saying, hi, oh shining. Sorry.
Hi. Yeah, I think she meant for personal chat there. But hi, Soumya. Okay, there's a question for you.
Okay, diet for managing menstrual pain. All right. See, there is no specific fix for it. If your periods are painful and if they are painful throughout your cycle, I think it's a concern. It's a point of concern, and you should see a gynec and find out the reason why it is. There isn't any specific food that someone can tell you that okay, ye le lo, and you will feel better. Because period pain it can be a complicated condition, what is going on inside, and you should get that checked. And even the gynecs, they would just suggest you okay, whenever it is a painful period, just take a painkiller. And if a nutritionist or a dietitian is saying a single food item which will help you reduce pain, that person is not reliable. But what I can advise you is try having a overall balanced diet throughout. Don't just wait for your periods or painful periods or other condition otherwise. If you are having a good balanced diet where your proteins are fixed, you are getting good unsaturated fats and having good fibrous food, and carbs and everything, you are less likely to suffer from conditions like as this. Yeah. So this is what my advice would be. Actually, we last week's session was with a gynac where we spoke about periods in detail, and yeah, that's where we discussed this as well. So yeah, that would be my answer. I'm sorry, I couldn't be of much help. No problem. Okay, Aarti saying, can you throw some light on Rajas, Tamas, and Sattvic form of food, and how can one find a balance for their body type?
Okay, is that for both of us, you and me?
I have no idea about Rajas, Tamas, and Sattvic form of food,
Mm,
so I will let you take this.
Okay, so like Aarti mentioned, there are three in yoga. We define food to be of three types: Rajas, Tamas, and Sattvic.
Mhm.
Sattvic, it's how we define. Like she has asked that how can we check for our body type, right? So it's because these three elements also exist within ourselves,
Mhm.
right? And when they intervene with each other, that's when we actually get the human form. So now to understand, Sattvic is a very all the healthy diet that you can imagine, right? Fresh fruits, regional, seasonal, as Rujuta Devekar says it, right? Eat regional, local, seasonal. That's all as less cooked as possible, as fresh as possible, right? That's all sattvic food that will directly add onto health, nutrition into your body.
Hmm.
Rajas is the kind of food that makes you active. All the spices that we have, right? Rajas is actually that phase of your life when you are very passionate, when there's a high fire in your body, the jet ragni, which we mentioned in the body, that helps in digestion of the body. Plus, that also keeps us active.
Hmm.
So all the spices, lasan, adrak, pyaj, all these things, they increase the rajas element of our body. So extra tadka, dal that we have, those things come into the rajas things, which give you energy, that give you positive energy, but that give you again a spike of energy, right? And tamas is again now the food that brings your energy down.
Hmm.
Anything stale food, right? Fried junk, any sort of fried and junk, and fried and frozen both extremely is like next level of garbage that we can probably feed our body onto.
Wow.
And so all the unhealthy, extremely unhealthy food um, is the tamas food that brings your energy down. The food that gives you more energy, positive energy, that keeps you neutral, that gives you, makes you feel better, is your sattvic food. And that's why you must have heard of there is one sattvic movement which is going around that gives you good suggestions in terms of what you can eat, how you can cook in a better way with less oil, right? With less frying, and yet eating instead of, because of course you can't eat a lot of sabjis raw. So how you can cook them in a better way, how you can have dal in a tasty boiled format, right? How you can manage your diet from day to night so that you have more of sattvic and rajas food in your diet and least of tamas food in your diet, right? So that's where there's three kind of food that remains, are types. And how do you judge your body type? Okay, so there are two three things there. Technically there's a whole questionnaire with which you can understand which is what is your, and it's not just on the physical level, it's also on the mental level that you can understand whether you are rajas, tamas, or sattvic. Or rather, we judge the body and mind on the basis of vat, pit, and kapha, right? So if your pit is high, then you are more on the rajas side, right? There's more fire in you. If your vat is high, then vat is the air element, right? So then the two elements of the five elements that we have: air, water, space, earth, and fire. So when your pit is space and air element is high, and that will, accordingly give you the same kind of issues and benefits at the same time. And if your cuff is high, then your water and your earth earth element is high. Now, people with high cough are usually little heavy on the weight side. Have beautiful skin, a very healthy skin, because again, high earth and water element have Earth represents stability, Earth represents strength. So that is why, again, on the weight side, high inside, water represents calmness. Water is very soothing. And again, that is why beautiful skin. So that is one way. Now, if you are lean and you're very active, that's more on the lines of Pitta, on the lines of Rajas. That is probably your body type. If you are very prone to easy acne on your skin, then that is also a signal of Rajas and high Pitta. If you're prone to being short tempered, that is again Pitta. And Vat is again a very mix of both Pitta and Kapha elements, right? It's a mix of both of them in terms of nature and behavior. If your skin is dry, if you usually have the first point of pain is your joints, if you usually have gastric digestive issues, bloating digestive issues, if you usually have air related issues, in that case, then what is your body type? And, that is and having any imbalance or any particular type is neither sattvic nor tamasic. Anything in excessively high is tamasic situation. Anything in neutral balanced state is a sattvic situation. Anything positively high is a rajas situation. So similarly, like as I said, mental behavior represents your different proportion of the elements. We all have all these 5 and 3 elements, in different proportions in our body. It's just something is high for somebody, something is high for somebody else. So yes, there's a whole long questionnaire on which you can judge how and where you are placed physically and mentally separately. And accordingly, I think, but yes, accordingly, you can play around with the diet that you intake, because the diet would also impact your body and mental state accordingly. And the diet at the same time impact is very, very in terms of Hindu calendar, we have ritus, we have different weathers, we have so when the weather is changing, then what kind of diet you should have, then naturally what kind of element is increasing and decreasing in your body. That is another different play altogether that happens with the change in weather. Your body cycle also changes with it. And similarly, that is why like in winters you are suggested to eat all those sweets, ghee wala khana, right? Because your cough is low in the body at that time, whereas because of the winters that is going on, right? So that is why external increase intake of that is suggested. Similarly, in summers, having extremely high fried food can increase your pit to another level, because already your pit is increased by default. So that's a whole different dynamics at the same time that impacts your body cycle, body food, and body type.
I wanted to thank as well. So Aarti is saying thank you so much for wonderful explanation. You said there is a questionnaire we can fill up, and where do we find that questionnaire?
I'll share it with you.
That'd be awesome. Awesome. All right. We have a classic question, and I love that question so much. Can I?
Yes, absolutely.
If my message is visible, can you please ask what type of yoga can reduce belly fat?
Power yoga. Absolutely. Anything that makes you sweat, anything that forces toxins to get out of your body can impact you. At the same time, pranayam, right? Impactful, effective, rigorous pranayam. Kapalbhati, Agnisar, those 2 pranayams are extremely impactful. At the same time, I can give you the names of the practices. Yes, Surya Namaskar, as I was about to say. I can give you the names of practices. There is Chakki Chalan, there is Injan Daur, there is Surya Namaskar. So all these combined together with the regular practice, 2 hours of regular practice, yes, can surely give you an impact on the belly fat, not just on the belly fat. You will see it all throughout your body. Yoga doesn't effectively, bifurcates your body into one part or the other. It impacts your body inside out, right? So you will first see the change in your sleep patterns, in your energy levels, and then it will go on to impact on the physical and the outside body, right? So be patient. but be dedicated and continuous in your effort.
Yes, and um, that will not help you if your nutrition is not in place. So you do all the asanas that
Absolutely.
Ocean has mentioned. कर करके थक जाओगे. Uh, but if you are eating all the tamsi food throughout the day, it is not going to help you. Okay? So Amit was asking the next thing, and the reason why I said this was one of my favorite questions because I get that every day, so many times. It comes, but Ocean, as you rightly said that even in fitness, we believe that there is no localized fat loss. Yeah? So, Amit, if you are just focused on your belly fat, then it's a really tough job for you. Like you will be just chasing that throughout. Just try to improve your overall diet, start incorporating yoga or yoga and other physical activities, and start managing your stress because stress plays a big role, big role in your belly fat. Okay, so start doing those things and you'll start seeing changes. Yeah. Um, okay, for improve or better sleep, which yoga?
Okay, there's no one kind of yoga again, but begin to practice yoga and you will see a change, right? Because once you begin to practice yoga, you will see that your body is working out at the same time it's relaxing. If and again, like you mentioned, stress, so it helps in reducing the stress levels as well. So if you're mentally in place, you will have better sleep. Other than that, to give you something particular, probably you can go for Nari Shodhan Pranayam, Chandra Bhedi Pranayam that helps you relax, that helps the parasympathetic nervous system to come in action, and that helps you, lower down the pace of your heart, lower down the activity of your inside body. Eat at the appropriate time before sleep, and when sleep starts to target you, try and fall asleep at that time, because if you miss that window, then of course you're going to stay up for a very long time. Don't have anything that gives you an energy boost at night, especially coffee or something extremely fried and spicy, because that impacts your digestion level and that puts your energy further down, right? So yes, of course, you should go for vajrasan probably after your diet or your food intake, which will help you again, better digestion, better relieving of energy, and which will give you a good metabolism overall, which again directly indirectly impacts your sleeping pattern, right? So not one kind of pattern, but surely pranayam can help you before sleep and after you wake up. The first thing that you do on the bed, go for Narishodhan pranayam. And just before closing off, don't fall off sleep, watching something on the television. Keep your screen time off. It's something very basic. I'm sure I'm repeating that you must have heard and listened. But more than anything else, it's the fact that if you sleep, while watching something, then that's the last thought you're feeding to your mind before going to sleep, right? But you need to close your day with the pranayam so that you can observe your day throughout, and at the same time you can plan your next day ahead. So when you channelize your energy in closing the day, preparing it to open for the next day, at that time the mind is also preparing that, okay, now it's time to go into battery low mode or relaxation mode or rejuvenation mode, right? Recharging mode. And when you give that brain that time,
Your audio is gone.
now it should be working fine,
Yes,
I
it's
think.
fine. It's back. It's back. Say something. You're back. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. You're back. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Did I cut you off in the middle?
No,
Because
absolutely
you,
fine. I
yeah.
think the wrapping
Okay.
up or concluding it with was that if you listen to your body, the body listens back to you.
But that is, I wanted to come back to that. जो आपने बीच में बोला था about sleeping as well. So whenever your body is trying to tell you that अभी नींद आ रही है, सो जाओ, phone side पे रखो और सो जाओ,
Yeah.
है ना?
Yeah.
And that applies for everything. there are so many communication gadgets, and we have started communicating with the people around the globe, but the last person we communicate with is ourselves. And I think we have to start like focusing more inwards, because your body tells you when you are hungry, eat at that time. Your body tells you when you are thirsty, drink water at that time. That's what we call intuitive eating. uh, you are not supposed to eat जब भी तुम्हें मन करे, कि जब भी तुम्हें याद आए, है ना? So just try to bring that connectivity back now. What do you have to say, Ocean, on that?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's perfectly right.
Hmm.
And that's perfectly true. And that's why, I mean, I feel that with the kind of work culture that's coming up, uh, I also being party to that, at times we tend to ignore our diet and our food, and we push that timeline of a lunch, of a dinner, because we are too much working, right? We
Hmm.
say that let's finish this and then we'll eat. Now, what happens is that by the time you are actually ready to eat, the stomach has gone into a different zone, right? And then you tend to overeat, or you
Hmm.
tend to eat whatever comes right in front of you
Hmm.
and whatever comes quickly in front of you. And
Hmm.
that's never a healthy diet,
No.
right? That's always going to be something. 2 minutes Maggie, as you must have heard, it's been promoted like that. It's a 2 minutes quick fix, right? But you need to be pre-prepared with your food, and it's not an easy task. Absolutely, it's not an easy task, right? So keep your food prepared. Have small healthy snacks around you. Have fruits around you, ready to eat, right? I'm sure if you have to go get up and peel a orange, or wash an apple, then cut it and then eat it, I'm sure you're going to be lazy enough to do that. Rather, you're going to invest those 2 minutes in the Maggi noodles. So keep those things ready. Don't let the mind overpower you when it comes to food also, when it comes to diet also. Be pre-prepared that this is going to be my first quick fix, right? And I feel that whenever you're going for a diet and you're extraordinarily very hungry and you feel that you might overeat, have a glass, half a glass, or 1 glass of water before your diet, so that you don't overeat,
Hmm.
right? Or have an apple, before you eat anything else. And I feel, and probably Umesh can give you a better insight on that, or agree or disagree to me, that fruit should be eaten before you eat any of your other regular diet, because I feel that's digested faster.
Hmm.
So it should not be in the timeline in your body, to be put in your body after the food.
Hmm.
So I think there's this one culture that we have of eating fruits after dinner. I feel it should be very much eating salad and eating fruits half an hour before your actual diet and meal. Umesh, please confirm me
डिनर
on that.
डिनर के बाद फ्रूट खाना इलीगल कर देना चाहिए, like literally.
Yeah.
लाइक लाइक फ्रूट्स के पैकेट पे भी अब लिखना शुरू हो, जैसे सिगरेट के पैकेट्स पे भी राइट ना, इट्स इंजूरियस टू
Yeah.
योर हेल्थ. फ्रूट्स के पैकेट्स पे भी लिखा होना चाहिए, इट शुड बी इलीगल टू ईट फ्रूट्स एट नाइट और आफ्टर डिनर
Useless to
एटलीस्ट.
you.
Sorry.
Useless to your health if happened.
Yes, it is.
I
See,
probably rather than create bad effect as
see, fruits के बारे में बात करने जाए ना, so fruits is something that it's not exclusive for your body. Fruits में से जो चीजें मिलती है ना, so if I was to cut fruits off your life, your body will still survive, because in fruits you are getting fiber, vitamins, minerals, and fructose. Fructose body में उसका कुछ काम नहीं है, like literally nalla, zero function of fructose in your body. Vitamins, mineral, and fiber, you can get it from other things. So if someone is suffering from metabolic disorders, diabetes, PCOS, insulin resistance, cholesterol issues, I don't have any problem with fruits as such. I'm saying when we get on fruits, people think it's healthy, and then we abuse it. So if you are someone who can't just be satisfied with one portion of fruits, I think अपने आप को बोलो ना नहीं खाना है. And provided if you are all those conditions से suffer कर रहे हो तो. So yeah, don't take my word in a way that it's black and white. I'm saying fruits are bad. I'm saying for certain conditions you could get away without. You can live without fruits. It's not something, your body is not surviving on that. No. But timing matters a lot, as you said very rightly. I would say you should start your day with fruits if you are consuming fruits. Now that's the best time. The best time. And night is the worst time for you. Yeah. Wow.
Absolutely.
Oshin, can you believe एक घंटा हो गया?
I know.
Already an hour.
I just hope everybody else in the room was also on the same page other than us.
Wow.